Hello, welcome to the Enginerdy show. I'm St. Jimmy,
I'm Iron Man.
and instead of having Mr. Pold, we have our other favorite guest host.
Master Zed.
Yay!
I should probably tell them who I really am, my secret identity, because if they're just listening, they won't know.
Oh,
This is D-Bitty.
if you look on YouTube, you can see that he's wearing an Iron Man mask,
Oh,
and that's
thirsty.
why he sounds muffled. And he had to get a straw so he could still drink his Mountain Dew, which he's doing through the mask, of course. Our fake sponsor this week is Screaming Pinatas. Get the lifelike pinata for your child's next party, and it will sound like an actual dying animal when you beat it with a blunt object. Now with lifelike fur coverings.
You don't want to be the one to break it open.
You fill it with your choice of delectable jams.
Red vines and
I have
strawberry jam.
I often have thoughts of interesting and weird things that you could put in pinatas.
Well, we kind of covered it a few episodes back.
Tax?
Yeah, we were talking about it. So
Cheese.
Bees would be funny.
yeah. Was that an electric pinata? I can hear it humming. Yeah.
Half pieces of mice.
Oh. So,
It's like mice, huh?
not particularly, but when I do see mice, I prefer to see the entire
You
mouse.
get human-shaped pinatas and call of mice and men.
You could do that. So I ran into another
Mice filled men.
yes. I ran into another conundrum thinking about the Gremlins movie because you can't feed them after midnight.
Isn't it always after midnight?
Well, I think we determined last time that it went from midnight until dawn.
Oh,
But what about daylight savings time? Like, does
I think it's the
One's
intent.
at 2 a.m.,
does,
right?
right? But
So it would.
so midnight one night is an hour different than the next night. So does the gremlin physiology know about daylight
I
savings
think it's
time?
based on your intent. If you think it's after midnight when you feed them,
Well, in the movie, he fed them after midnight, but he thought it was before midnight because they'd unplugged his clock.
no.
So his intent was,
So that's not true then.
yeah, so how does that work?
I don't know. That's like number 4 on my top 5 list of favorite gremlin thoughts.
Wow, we were talking about top 5 lists off the air, and I'm not good at them. In fact, it's on my top 5 list of things I'm not good at.
Coming in at number 1, making top 5 list.
After that, I have no idea. We got my daughter some new shoes. They light up, and they came with a USB cord to charge them with.
That's awesome.
What?
You change the color?
Yes, it has a button in the tongue that you push, and it does different
Well,
colors.
everyone has one of those.
Hopefully they don't use the same batteries as those Samsung phones or whatever that were blowing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, or those, what are they called? The e-cigarettes that blow up?
Oh, yeah, or the hoverboard.
Yeah, those blow up too?
Yeah, they catch on fire.
Oh, sweet. Watch my sweet flaming trick here.
If you wear the right shoes with the hoverboard while you're smoking an e-cigarette, you could have everything on fire if you were recording it on the Samsung.
That'd be
This
awesome.
board is on fire.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Alright, I'm going to reveal who I am.
okay, he's taking the mask off.
It's just really warm.
It's actually D-Vitty. Dun dun dun!
I'll save it. Maybe I'll put it back on later.
Okay. So we took a trip this last weekend. It was a
We did.
quick down and back.
Some of us drove.
Yes, I drove both ways. You flew one direction.
I flew one direction.
So-
Not the band, but
I
the
drove.
related to just one airplane ticket, one direction.
Okay. So I use my Google Map app, even though I know the way, just so it can like tell me how far.
I think you just say Google Map because the app is right there in the map.
Oh, Google Map with 2 P's.
Yeah, it's a
Map.
map.
So, anyways, sometimes if there's like a traffic jam or something, it'll tell you a detour that's faster. But it'll usually tell you, like, if you stay on the route, the original route, it's this many minutes slower.
Oh, yeah.
Well, on the way down there, it just suddenly, well, it had planned the whole time for me to get off the freeway at one point and take this back highway, and then it got me back on the freeway. And I don't know why it did that, but I decided to go for it because we weren't in a hurry, really, and I thought it'd be interesting. But then,
You just had like 40 miles of off-roading to do, and it just knew you wanted to do that for fun.
well, it was another highway. It just wasn't a freeway.
Those are fun, though. I like taking highways.
Yeah, it was cool. It was nice scenery we hadn't seen
The
before.
literal road less traveled.
Yeah. I was like, this is a really nice road, too, and everybody was going like 20 over, so I was...
Maybe that's why they knew there's no cops on that road and people were driving fast.
Possibly. It didn't explain why.
Other people using this app are driving faster than the current route.
Could have been.
Yeah. I want my app to like know which vehicle I'm in, and then if I'm in the truck, to be like, hey, there's a good off-roading spot over here. You should turn right off of this.
We should get to know you.
Because it ends, paved road ends 20 feet either side of the intersection.
If Google can get you an applicable ad for you, you think they could get you an applicable route on the map thing?
You'd think.
Well, you can choose your route before you leave.
You just got into a Prius. You should walk.
Anyways, what was I going to say? On the way back, there's some construction.
Woof, that was horrible.
About an hour and a half from home, and it said, there's this detour you can take that will save you half an hour. And I was like, sure. And it got me off on these roads. They weren't highways, they were just like surface streets, but up in the mountains, going through like past farms and stuff. And
slightly faster because that slowed us down. We were in traffic for like 2 hours today.
Oh, see, I only had, I think total that I was stuck in traffic was probably less than half an hour.
That would have been awesome because I was stuck in Mr. Polk's truck.
Oh.
Which has one speaker that works, no auxiliary input for his radio. So we're listening to my phone just stuck in my backpack in the middle of the seat.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. While I was on that first detour on the way down there, I was using my phone for the Google Map, and then I was also using it to play music Bluetooth to my stereo from Amazon Prime Music. Well, this music was like skipping. And so I had my wife grab the phone and see if she could figure it out. Well, she ended up having to reboot the phone, but then we were so far away from anywhere that it didn't have signal.
Oh.
And it was like, I can't find the address you're looking for your map.
No.
I'm like, well, I remember what the next turn was, and I'm sure that we're going to be close to getting back on the freeway.
That's funny.
After that, so she ended up getting it working before our next turn. But it was kind of a little moment there. It was like, maybe this wasn't a good plan to take this alternate route.
Our mom and I did that once. We just went on back roads through that part of the country. That's how we found a small city called Scio. S-C-I-O. And so I took a picture of myself with the sign because I have a Scion.
Yeah.
And so I photoshopped an N onto the sign when I got home. But you find cool stuff if you just leave the road.
Yeah, it was a really nice road and nice country out there. So.
Very nice. So on my way to get to the wedding, I took several different modes of transportation. I walked part of it. I drove my car part of it. I was on a boat. Took a bus. Then an airplane. So the bus part, I got picked up.
A limo, right, on the way back.
I wish. There was a. So I got on this bus that takes you from it like goes near nearby cities and picks people up and takes them to the airport. Like runs once an hour, I think. So I was scheduled. You put your flight time into their website and it tells you which one you should take.
Mhm.
So for me, that was like the 6 o'clock one. My flight was at 10 almost.
Okay.
So
Normally it's about
an
an
hour.
hour drive.
So that'd give you there 3 hours early, but they want to give you the 2 hour leeway,
Right.
and so it was close enough to, you know, hit traffic. You might be in a bad spot.
Yeah, and there's construction between here and there
Right.
now.
So we got picked up the last group of people. I think there's one person got picked up, and the bus driver was trying to mark down that he had all his passengers or whatever he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they came into a left turn that was then going to turn right to go on the freeway, and the Explorer that was in front of us like had stopped. Then he moved forward like 3 or 4 feet and stopped again. And the bus driver looked up enough to see him move, and so he just was still doing whatever he was doing and just ran right into the back of this Explorer.
Nice. So obviously the bus driver's fault.
I've had that happen to me before where I was the car that got hit.
Yeah.
Because the whole line of traffic was going and then the car in front of me stopped, and so I had just pulled like 4 feet forward and stopped, and then got hit in the back because the lady had just looked down at something.
Right. They assume that the car at the stop sign, when they start moving, they're
gonna
going.
go, right.
And so they calculate, okay, there's
That's
going to be
why
a car lane.
I usually try not to go until it looks like everyone's going to go because of stuff like that. But
Right.
so we pulled off the
When I was
side.
in high school, I rear-ended somebody doing that.
Yeah.
They pulled up to a stop sign. I pulled up behind them, and then there was no cars coming, and they started to go and then stopped.
Yeah, that's.
And I had pulled up and ran into them a little
That's
bit.
rough.
They had a hitch. They had
Oh.
a hitch. It was like an SUV. They had a hitch.
It almost sounds like they're doing it on purpose.
And I got out, and I had like a little, the dust had been
No, disturbed.
rubbed off my bumper, and they had no marks. So I was like, I talked them into not exchanging information.
So
Nice.
if you get in an accident with the bus, there's a couple things they have to do. They have to get a police report, so they had to call the police. They had to show up. I'm sure they exchanged information, the company information, with the guy. I don't think he had to get information from the Explorer guy. So we pulled off the road into a gas station. We sat there. It was probably 35, 40 minutes before the police car showed up. We talked to the bus driver for a minute. We weren't sure if he was going to have to interview any of us, because at that point there was 12 people on the bus. It was a small bus. It's not a full-size bus.
A short bus.
Kind of, yeah.
For people who can't get to the airport.
So at one point, the bus driver said they're just sending another bus to pick us up. So that could be a while or whatever.
Yeah.
And finally, just got on the bus and he's like does a head count real quick. He's like, I'm just going to take you to the airport. I've already inconvenienced you guys enough. Because I guess he got finished the police report in time that we could leave and still be ahead of the other one they're sending for us. So we just did his dispatch and told him that, and then took us to the airport. And I had actually been asleep right before the accident, and I woke up a little bit and was just shut my eyes and opened it one more time when I saw, why are we still moving towards that stopped car? Then we hit it. I was like, oh.
That's why.
The thought actually went to my brain that this guy, was stopping and waiting for traffic when he shouldn't have. And I thought the bus driver was just going to scoot really close to him. Kind of intimidation, but I didn't realize the bus driver wasn't really paying attention.
Well, he was distracted driving, which is a big thing right now in Zimbabwe.
But I'm not sure that it is the same for public transportation operators.
It's probably
and police cars.
much worse.
It's probably.
I don't know. I think they're probably like police officers and fire truck drivers. They're distracted driving all the time.
Yeah. But
I don't know. We'll see.
But getting in an accident.
I guess we won't see because
that was his job.
You have much more severe consequences.
Well, I know UPS, at least when I worked there, if a UPS driver got in a car accident, no matter whose fault it was, they fired him on the spot.
Wow.
Some of them, if they're good, they'd rehire, but then they could rehire them at a lower, whatever. But yeah, so the guys are really careful drivers.
Interesting.
So the bus driver's like, this is the first time in
CDL.
Yeah.
If you have a CDL in Oregon, there's a whole lot of things that if you get a ticket for, you lose your CDL. And a lot of jobs, if you have to have a CDL and you have one and lose it, you're fired.
Yeah, it's game over. I mean, there's no reason for you to be there.
And it's not like the things you can get, you lose it for basically anything other than just like a parking ticket, or like if you're going over 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, I think. So not even like the 20 mile an hour,
Right.
over 20 mile an hour range where
Yeah.
most people get in more trouble. It's less than that for CDL.
So the bus driver got back on and he's like, "This is the first incident at all I've had in 10 years of doing this." And so he's making who knows how many runs back and forth to the airport every day for 10 years.
Yeah.
And he finally gets in an accident. And I happened to be on the bus that happened. So I told that whole story to tell you this. This is actually helpful for me. For one, I was worried that I'd get to the airport way too early. But really, there was a sign that said, "It is appropriate to tip a safe and courteous driver." So I didn't have any cash with me, so I was very relieved when we got into an accident, so I didn't have to think about a tip.
Nice.
You're like, you crashed and delayed me, no tip for you.
But it's nice because we have our new phone plan, which is unlimited. So I got to the airport, I just got on YouTube and watched YouTube videos with my headphones in while I was waiting.
Nice.
And then jumped on Netflix, watched some shows. It was very nice. I really enjoyed it.
So, do you ever, so let's say you're coming to a stop sign, there's a car in front of you, but they're pulled up past the stop sign?
Yes,
though?
if you can pull up to the stop bar and stop, you've stopped.
So, do you ever, when they go, you just go without pulling up and stopping again?
Yeah, I've already pulled up.
If I can see
Yeah.
enough, then yeah.
Yeah, I do that, and I always kind of like, I wonder what the other cars around me think. But to
The
me,
car is probably nothing because they're inanimate objects.
oh,
Well, the number
I
of people I see that blow through red lights and stop signs because a car's coming, and if they don't stop, then they will be able to get in front of you.
right.
Then I don't really think they think anything of it.
Okay.
The car you're behind might think something. Oh, I can even stop behind me. Of
Well,
course, they're breaking the law by stopping past the stop bar, anyways.
Well, if you stop and then pull up,
Yeah, you can do that.
sometimes they do that, but it's like I'm stopped at the line just because the car in front of me pulled forward and then went. I'm still stopped, and I can see traffic.
You know, living in Idaho, I used to do this thing where there'd be a four-way stop, and I'd watch other traffic and on purpose slow down slower,
Yeah.
or faster than everyone else, so that I would
Be
make
there
sure they
first.
got there second.
Yeah.
Because if even I got there first, it's awkward because so
Right.
I want them to get there first, and then hopefully they'd go by the time I got stopped.
Yeah, I do that. I'll slow down slower so that they are obviously there first.
Right.
So on the way here one night,
Still, they'll say, "No, you go."
it doesn't always work. So my rule at four-way stops is I usually try to either do the same thing, either like try to make sure I obviously stopped first so I can go, or make it obvious that they stopped first.
Yeah.
right?
But if once I'm at a complete stop, if there's any hesitation in the person that's sitting there stopped, I just go.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just
So
go. Yeah.
I was coming here one night, and I was turning left at a stop sign to come towards. I was coming from the side of the golf course to turn left in front.
Yeah.
And there's cross traffic doesn't have to stop, but there was a car coming towards me that was going to go straight. So I intentionally slowed down so that they would stop first, and then just go across the intersection. Then I could stop and go left.
Right. They didn't.
Well, they sat there and were trying to wave me through, and I'm like, you obviously have the right of way. So if I pull in front of you and then you decide to go and hit me, it's my fault. So I just I wouldn't even look at them. So they sat there for probably 5 or so seconds, and then they finally just went right when a car was coming and nearly ran into the other car. Both of them slammed on their brakes, and they were within a foot of each other. And I'm just like, that's why I didn't want to pull out in front of you, because you are obviously
You're a bad driver.
incompetent. It's like, if you have the right of way, just take it.
So it reminds me of, so Doc is trying to get his driver's license.
Yeah.
And yes, he is 18. But so he wanted me to take him out, and so I was like, okay, I grabbed the truck keys. He's like, no, I want a lesson in your car.
Okay.
It's like, okay, so mine's a manual transmission. He's driven or practiced on it once back when he was 16. Hasn't
Okay.
tried to drive one since. So we took him out. He got out of the driveway pretty good, and then going forward, he stalled like twice. Got to the end of my street at the stop sign, was able to stop. Then killed it like 2 or 3 times trying to turn right. It's 10:30 at night, so we went late, so there's no one else around.
Right.
So we get to this next stop sign, still no one else around. So there's 2 stop signs opposite each other, and then through traffic that does not have to stop. So he's trying to turn left to drive around the golf course, and he stalls it. 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 Each time he stalls it, he's moving maybe 3 or 4 feet farther around the corner, and this car comes obviously down the one that doesn't have to stop while
Nice.
we're blocking the road. So they pull up, and his first response was to give us a little beep, like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Right.
So I'm like, just ignore them. Start the car. Let's try it again. Give him more gas.
Mm-hmm.
Let off the clutch slower.
Right.
They still. So I look over, and there's a guy walking up to the car. The car had, gone kind of around us, partway down the corner. Stopped. The guy got out to see if we needed help.
You're like, new driver.
So Zach
sorry.
rolls his window down, and he's like, "Do you guys need help?" I was like, "Oh, he's learning how to drive a manual." And Zach's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to learn to stick." And he's like, "Well, it's just like this." And he does the hand motions for it. And then laughed. And I got back in his car and left. So we got.
Should have been like, I only have one leg.
Yeah. So we got all the way around. He's
It's really tricky with only one foot.
we got all the way around the golf course. Part way around, he's like, "I think it's easier to shift when you're not stopped." I was like, "Well, yeah."
Yeah.
It says everyone ever. So we go and we pulled into the driveway for the golf course, and I just had him practice going and then stopping immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get going, stop. And so we did that. It'd take like 5 or 6 goes before you get to the parking lot, put in reverse, do the same thing backwards.
Nice.
We did that for like 20
So-
minutes. He's
So
getting
for
a little better.
Zach's defense, when I drove your car, I felt like your gas pedal had a little slack in it.
A little slack in it. The gas pedal.
Yeah,
He doesn't know because he always
it's not like
pushes
always
it
on
all
the
the way to
floor.
the floor. There's. It only has an on and
Well,
off. It's a
I have
digital.
Shifting into gears since I got the new clutch in it is not easy. I'm constantly missing shifts, and I'm like, because it just like you get to like tug on it hard to get into second gear sometimes. It's like I wanted to get like a nice like stage 2 clutch in it, and the guys around here won't put someone else's clutch in it.
Right.
Like, oh, you don't need that much clutch for that thing. It's like it doesn't weigh anything. So you talk you into this lesser clutch, and it's like I need to go over, I guess, to the next largest city in Chad, and find an actual guy that will do tuner work.
Chad City.
Yeah, is that the capital of Chad?
Yeah. I don't know. Mr. Pold
I
would
think it's
know, but
Heather.
he's not here, so we can say whatever we want.
So it's
so.
fun trying to learn how to drive.
On my drive to Bend from Mr. Polt's wedding, we were headed to meet some friends, and this old guy in a Mazda 3 decided. So we're on a highway. Speed limit, luckily, had gone down from 65 to 55 because we're getting pretty close to town, and we're in a line. We're at the back, like towards the back of this line of cars, and we're coming up on this intersection, and I see a white Escalade at the stop sign waiting, and I see this blue Mazda like come out at a weird angle that didn't make sense for turning. Like he was lined up to hit the Escalade or go behind him while he's sitting at the stop sign. But it also happened to be right at the same time that there was a Jeep Wrangler coming in the oncoming traffic.
Okay.
So the Jeep hit the Mazda.
Oh.
So yeah. So we saw a car accident like probably 450 yards ahead of us.
Nice.
And I still don't have a clue what the guy was thinking. So the Jeep came to a stop and kind of turned 90 degrees and just he came to stop in probably like 15 feet, which was probably a pretty
Aggressive braking.
Yeah, well, I don't think he got much braking
Oh.
in at all. But the Mazda got knocked all the way off the road down into the ditch.
Oh.
And so that guy gets out, and it's like this old white-haired dude. And so he kind of like gets out of the car, it seemed okay. And then the guy in the Jeep got out and like stood there for a second, and then went to his knees, and then went to his hands and knees, and then like rested his head on the ground.
Oh,
We're like,
no.
oh crap.
That's not good.
So Charlie calls 911. We see like a couple other people stop and are on phones, and they, told them like, yeah, we're not sure if the guy's okay or not. He's not looking too great. There's no blood anywhere, but there's traffic's blocked in one direction. There's a bunch of glass and fluids because the Jeep, like 5 seconds after it came to a stop, just started gushing.
Yeah.
Yes, like it was weird because it was like nothing, and then just
Boom.
there it is, and just like started pouring coolant out.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But we called, and they said we didn't need to wait around, so we left. But it's like, what are you thinking?
Yeah. People feel too secure in their car that they can do weird things, but it's like you're actually in a lot of danger.
Because I got flipped off in the weirdest spot. So I was coming across the intersection, and there was traffic coming the other way in a turn lane, and I had to go into this parking lot just to the left past the intersection.
Okay.
It felt too close to the intersection as a civil engineer. I thought that the driveway should have been farther away. So there's the turn lane that is for people going the other direction.
Right.
So I made specifically sure I was just past that, but there's cars coming. It looked like they're probably going to want to turn left.
Right.
So I kind of just dove into the turn lane, my little turn lane section, to go into the parking lot. And this lady going the other way, like, had to pull into her turn lane, but she had to enter where she should.
Right.
She flipped me off as she went by. I was like, what?
Like, when it's yellow on both sides, we can both use it.
Yeah,
my daughter's gymnastics place is right after an intersection, and there's room there that you can get into the turn lane after, and nobody's turning left there anyways in the afternoon, so.
I mean, if she'd hit me, it would have been fine. It wouldn't be fine. I'd be upset, but I'd get a new car.
Yeah. People are weird.
Yeah. I had yesterday morning, I was like driving through downtown, and so the lights are timed such that you basically, if you're stopped, you accelerate up to the speed limit, and then you maybe have to like brake a little bit,
or just accelerate less.
Which I usually do just so that I don't have, because people here will cut you off and then slam on their brakes to do whatever they're going to do, but they're like, I've got to get in front of you,
Right.
even though I'm going to then immediately need to slow down. They won't just like go behind you. So
that feels like losing.
Where I had done it through several lights where I had accelerated up to the speed limit and then brake, just like tap the brake a little bit to get down to like 18 miles an hour right as the light turned, and then accelerate back up. And I could see that there was a truck stopped in the left lane. And so right as we came up to the light, this car that was behind me got over to go around me so that they were going to hit the light right as it turned green. And so when the light turned green, I probably accelerated a little more aggressively than I had at the other lights.
What?
Because I knew that this person was going to duck around me and then cut me off because there was a truck stopped in the left lane.
Right.
Well, she didn't expect me to accelerate, so she came partway into my lane, and I laid on the horn so that she knew I was there. So she slams on her brakes, cuts behind me into the right-hand lane, pulls up next to me, and then rolls her window down and starts yelling at me. It's like, oh, did I scare you, white boy? Like,
No, I just
Because
don't want you to
it's
hit
like,
my car.
no, I just didn't want you to hit my car with your car that's all dented on all the sides.
No, I just wasn't sure you had insurance on that piece of crap you're driving.
Yeah. And then she took off and then cut the person in front of me off to go back over, and then I was just like, holy crap. If I would have realized that she really needed to get wherever she was going, I would have let her gone.
Well, she had time to stop and chat.
Do you think maybe with the new virtual reality heads-up displays and stuff, maybe people would treat each other nicer in traffic as you looked around to replace their car with like a video of them on from on Facebook or something, so it looks like a person.
I don't know,
Because
I just looked over
if you're at the
like,
grocery
smiled.
store, are you gonna swoop in front of somebody and then cut them off sharply with your cart so you can get to the bread
And
that's right in front of them because
Well,
you want to get there
and then-
first?
That's the thing,
And then
they feel
yell at 'em.
safe in their car. So there's like no consequence. In the shopping
right.
store, somebody could just punch you in the face if you're being a jerk.
Right. Well, I feel like I get that on the motorcycle. People don't do stupid stuff to me because they know that I'm out in the open.
Yeah.
So I can like react directly to them.
Yeah, motorcycle they affect my driving more. Although there was one in the fast lane the other morning on the way to work that was in a 55-mile-an-hour zone that's going 40 in the fast lane, which was annoying because I give them respect and some distance,
Right.
and so I'm not willing to pass them like I would a car that was doing that. It was just annoying, off-putting.
Yeah, and that happens. But I usually give motorcycles like give them extra space, just because I know that even though they accelerate faster than cars, they don't brake as fast.
Like I saw a motorcycle coming up, like splitting the lane of traffic while we were all stopped, and so I had a little bit of space because I leave space between me and the car in front of me. So I pulled farther to the right so he could go past me on the left. I try to help those guys out. I'm totally on board with the laws to let people split traffic on motorcycles.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, buy a motorcycle. Otherwise,
and if
you bought a
feel
car.
like
So guess what?
I had one of my good friends that rides motorcycles say that he didn't like motorcycles splitting lanes, and he was like, yeah, I don't think you should be able to do it. I'd block people if I saw them splitting lanes. And I was like, dude, you're my best friend, but if you did that, you would be endangering my life and try to kill me, and I would whoop your butt if you did that to me.
Yeah. Well, think about the guy.
Like,
It's 100 degrees out. You're on blacktop, and you're riding an air-cooled engine vehicle.
Covered from head to toe in protective gear.
Yeah, wearing leather and a helmet that's covering your head. You need some airflow.
well, and even a liquid cooled, my bike, when it
Yeah,
gets up to 225 degrees, guess where the fan blows that hot air?
right, on your
Directly
legs.
onto my legs.
Yeah, it's a little different than sitting in an air-conditioned car.
So I actually responded to someone's post on Facebook.
Oh boy.
Not Facebook,
What?
YouTube. It was a YouTube comment. I commented on.
YouTube commenting?
Well, they were freaking out because it was about something about traffic and lanes closing. Because Owen Benjamin's a comedian, and he wrote a song about a guy trying to merge with his lanes ending.
Right.
It was pretty funny.
No, you don't do that. You just come to a stop. Duh.
Well, someone's like, those people that are in that lane right till the end where it merges are just they're jerks, and I don't let them in and stuff. I'm like, as a civil engineer, the road's designed for you to fill it. If you don't use that lane and then all merge where you're supposed to, you should fill up both lanes equally and then just merge at the end. You're wasting taxpayer money by having that section of road paved.
I know. So what you're saying is they should block off more of the road? Wait.
If there's two lanes up to a light and then they merge afterwards, they're trying to get more traffic through the light.
Right. It's stupid.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, we have
I posted that.
a bridge downtown they're doing work on the decking of it, and so they have one of the ramps onto it closed, and so it's only the actual road that goes directly onto the bridge is open, which is 2 lanes, and it goes down to 1 lane, and I have to take it twice a week for rugby practice, and no one knows how to merge. It's like It's not hard.
Well, it should be taking
'Cause
the
as
people are
soon as
doing traffic personally.
Right.
Well, it doesn't queue back. It doesn't even queue up to like slow down because there's only one lane of traffic. It doesn't even back up at all. It's like once you get merged into one lane, it
just
speeds
goes.
up by 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Anyway, I haven't been back to see if anyone commented on my post because I know people are. There's a good portion of the uninformed populace that would be upset at that.
Well,
Yeah, you probably have death threats.
and that's a nice thing about having a big truck is if somebody doesn't want you to merge and you start merging anyways, they usually back off.
I'll do it in my car too. I mean,
I know they can be aggressive, but
At the end of the day, no one wants.
they don't want you to run into them. And what's their thing? Well, he shouldn't have been merging. Oh wait, is that how roads work?
yeah.
It's like he was trying to cut me off. No, you were leaving less than a car length between you and the car in
So you
front
were
of
following too close.
So you were following too close.
That's why I would seriously want to like install like 4 cameras on my car, just all around it.
Just so you can show examples of bad drivers.
And then I want a video display screen on the side with like a PA system, so then I can pull up next to them later in traffic and educate them on what they did wrong.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't end well, right?
Yeah, probably not gonna win you any points.
Probably not. I had a lady yell at me on a 25-mile-an-hour road to slow down when I was driving past on the way home from work on that that steep hill.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to stop and explain to her I was going 25 miles an hour. I was just in second gear, so I had enough power to get up the hill. RPM speed does not equate to
just
car
because
speed.
it sounds like the engine's working hard
Doesn't mean I'm
doesn't
going
mean I'm
fast.
speeding. Yeah, I've had
But she
that
couldn't hear me
thought.
over my stereo. So.
She's
Whatever.
actually yelling you to turn your because you keep breaking your china.
Blood is coming out of
My
my
ears.
ears.
What? Don't you say?
Huh?
And when I started my current job, I had my hearing tested. I was rather pleasantly surprised to find out I had perfect hearing.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
never
really?
got mine checked.
So everyone lied
So
to
that
me.
way, they're
My
just
pal tried
really liberal with their tests so that they don't have to
Probably.
take responsibility for.
No, they want
No,
you to
they're
have
gonna
bad hearing.
test you at the end again.
Yeah, they want
So-
you to start with bad hearing so they can say that they didn't cause it.
Yeah. They told me to go get my hearing checked, but I was like, what? What'd
They
you
can
say?
hear you?
No.
I swear though, that test though, just beeping, you're supposed to press the left or right button. I started hallucinating. I was like, I
you're
don't
hearing
know.
beeping. You're like, is that coming from the thing? Yeah, I never got any of that.
The rest of the day I
tested.
heard beeping. Well,
Oh.
plus it's at a building that has like a bunch of band lifts, like JLGs outside. But I can't tell.
Uh,
Have you guys heard the new alarm systems?
Like they have a bell ringing, because I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Oh yeah. Have you heard the new alarm systems on some construction equipment? Instead of
Yeah.
a beep, that makes a static noise.
yeah,
I like it.
yeah, me too. We were at the
better.
store and my son was riding the bow of the shopping cart, and my wife had to reverse, and so he was beeping while she was backing the cart up.
That's funny.
It was funny.
I remember sitting on the bottom of the cart, like on the rack, like my face hanging off the front.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he
the
does
roof
that
floor
sometimes,
just
too.
flying past, and like inches from my face.
Yeah. It's good kid fun.
So, I've been boss all week.
Ooh,
My boss is out of town. I think taking one of his kids to college.
that's why you're so bossy lately.
Yeah. So he asked, or I was actually before the wedding. I was, where we were. And I got a text message from him saying no one else volunteered, so tag you're in. I was like, what? That's
so then I
lame.
go, boss.
So it's not this. This has been kind of a horrible week to be boss too. There's all kinds of weird stuff popping up. And I'm trying to get my own work done, and then it's just annoying. I
Yeah.
have to conduct a meeting, like an hour and a half presentation meeting tomorrow. Like, oh, this is awesome.
Well, should we go on to nerdiculture?
Let's do it.
I thought we'd talk about Mr. Hold's wedding that just happened. We just
What?
married him off.
Which is why he's not here.
Yeah, he's
He decided he didn't want to do this for his honeymoon.
yeah. I think this week they're like moving his
Oh, that's
wife's stuff up here, and then they're going to their honeymoon.
She's from Madagascar, so gotta get her all moved over to Zimbabwe.
She one of those lemurs.
Yep.
Oh, from the movie Madagascar.
No, I've not seen it.
No, your kids are too old, probably.
Probably.
I've seen it hundreds of times.
Although it's probably because I'm too old.
Maybe. You can't see bright colors anymore.
Nope, I can't. I've good hearing, horrible vision.
So we all went down to our folks' place, and they had the wedding in their
Backyard.
backyard.
Completely fenced.
Actually, it was really nice.
It was nice. Did you get bug bites?
Yes.
I got like 4 on my right arm.
I have a bunch.
But I like hanging out.
Charlie was wearing a dress and cowboy boots, so just like a 6-inch swath of her legs that had mosquito bites on them.
Well, I had shorts on, but they couldn't get through the hair
Yeah.
to get to my actual legs. Actually, I don't attract bugs very much, so I like hanging out with people like my wife and St. Jimmy here because they attract all the bugs.
Yeah. Well, my daughter
kids.
gets them worse than I do, so
Wow.
it's even good for me to be around her.
I saw my middle son and I thought, do you have chicken pox? He was so covered in mosquito bites on his legs.
He was busting a pretty good groove at the dance
He dances.
during the reception.
He doesn't
Everybody
have
was-
that inhibition gene.
Yeah.
He's unembarrassed about anything, which is good. It's a good skill to have.
So were there any nerdy attributes to their wedding? They didn't have a Klingon or even Beta Z
No,
wedding.
they didn't.
So that was kind of boring.
They did their recessional music. So after they got married and walking back down the aisle, at first they were going to have me do "Pour Some Sugar on Me" by Def Leppard.
No.
When they switched it, it was Kenny Loggins' "Footloose."
It was good. It was a nice ceremony, and
The music was good. They had selected for it, I thought.
I sang with our little sister.
You did. I cut you guys off early.
And I think that was okay because the part after the interlude, there was a little bit of part that we could never quite
Like
practice
back and
right.
forth singing.
No, that was
So
fine.
you
It
cut
was
off the whole last verse.
no. There's 2 verses, and then there's an interlude, and then it goes into chorus. But there's some like parts where I sing a line and then she
Yeah.
sings a line, but it's still like chorus technically maybe. But then there's a part where we're singing together, and I'm supposed to stop and then start the chorus over while she does like a aria
sounds
type
complicated.
thing, and we never got it right in the practice. And I was like, I'll probably get
What-
it, but you cut us off
You
before
practiced
that.
with me once, so I was trying to remember where the spot was.
Yeah, well, it was hot
I was
outside.
trying to read your body language.
I
And
was
then,
like, we need to practice outside with the microphones and with DVD.
as soon as I started fading, I could tell from your body language I was doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So I started going back up, and you're like,
Well, at first I was like, oh no. And I was trying to signal you to keep going, and then I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's just stop.
So I did have something funny where
So it faded out and then back in and then back out.
kind of nerdy. I tricked my wife a little bit. It was funny. So I had Mr. Pold's phone because that's where all his music was. And it was
Uh-huh.
Bluetooth connected to party speakers. And sometimes there was a little bit of lag between one song to the next.
Mm.
So there's kind of a lag and the song ends, and I have the phone in my hand, and I'm like, next track. And it started playing, and Tracy's like, is that voice activated? I said, no, it's not.
It's all about the timing. It's like
But-
convincing your kid that you can make the light turn green because you can tell
Oh yeah, I had my kids get this up.
from the timing that it's going to turn green.
I also, in our department meeting, there's a conference room that has motion sensor lights. I like to be the first one in there so I can clap,
Oh,
and then it comes on.
nice.
Like, is this system on a clapper?
There were certain lights where we lived in Idaho that I could see a reflection of the turn signal from the other direction in the light I was looking at, so I could see when it turned yellow. So I
Yeah,
could,
yeah, I like watching other lights.
I could always anticipate when it was going to turn green, so it looked like I could
Yeah,
make a change to my kids, but
the
I'm
lighting
not
was good though.
as impressed when they're older.
I was hoping there would be like Jedi lightsabers or something.
Some kind of
We should have done a Enginerdy show play-by-play, like sit on the side, like a booth, and
talk over the speakers.
we could do like golf speakers or golf talking.
Oh yeah.
What he's doing here is getting the ring off that pillow. He pulled that knot from the right side. That was a good move on his part.
It took him a couple of tries to get it on the finger, but he managed it in the end.
Oh, Paul's daughters like accosted me before the wedding, like, Uncle Anthony, why are you not dressed up? I was like, because Paul said I didn't have to. Like, he was probably joking. I was like, you shouldn't have said it.
Well, my wife was getting frustrated because we talked to him several times about what we need to wear, and he never gave us a serious answer. He was just like, oh, as long as you're not in a bathrobe, it's fine with me. Or, just don't wear your swimming suit.
Well, he said to me, as long as people don't think that you're the groom,
Yeah.
like, that would be awkward.
He told me, he's like, I'm going to be wearing a white shirt and tie. Don't dress nicer than me. So I wore a white shirt and tie.
Oh,
But
I took that as dressed less nice than me.
I was singing, so I thought I should probably
Oh.
dress up a little more. And I didn't know what our sister Shayla was going to wear.
A coworker saw the pictures, like, well, you're fine either with what you're wearing on your feet or your shirt and shorts, but she didn't think the Hawaiian shirt, shorts, athletic socks, and athletic basketball shoes all matched.
They weren't shoes, they were sandals.
No, I had shoes on.
Oh, okay.
I thought about sandals earlier, but I thought
With black socks.
I could do that. I pull
That's
that
a
off all the
classy
time.
move. I know. That's why.
I've abandoned people my age who think that you have to wear white athletic socks. I've abandoned that because young athletes wear black socks if they match their black shoes all the time.
No, I rarely wear white socks.
I don't think I own it anymore.
I do. If I'm wearing jeans, I'll usually wear white socks, but I don't wear jeans that often.
It's freeing when you stop carrying.
What else? We all got there early enough to help set up for the wedding out in the heat.
It was warm. Very warm.
I provide all the lighting for the.
Yeah, and that looked and ended up really well. My wife was out helping put up like these, I don't know, what do you call that white stuff they draped on the fence?
Oh, it's called
Tool.
Tool, and then they had
like the
these.
band.
They should have been listening to Tool while they're putting it up. That would have
Oh,
been awesome.
yeah. Why didn't we play Tool while they were doing that? But
That
then
wasn't there.
on
That wasn't
each
there.
fence post, they were putting these like paper, tissue
Flowery.
paper
Tissue
flower things, and our mom kept being a little bit too critical on the placement. So finally, my wife was like, "Well, if you want it perfect, you can do it yourself." So
Yep.
she was like, "I'm not going to do it anymore because I keep doing it wrong." And it was hot, so
Although I think I'd rather be in that heat than the heat locally here. The littoral heat is kind of
I don't
get more sweaty.
know that it's ever hot enough here that I'm that uncomfortable.
Well, you should try doing football practice out of it.
Yeah, I don't do that. The most I do is walk briskly. Yeah, our air conditioner, our pickup, is only working intermittently, and pretty much the entire way home from that, it did not work. So we were driving with the windows down most of the time.
A Pulse truck, you either had full blast AC or no AC.
So you're either like
Hot or cold.
you're scraping the inside of the window or you're wiping.
And you can't. I mean, you can't get comfortable that way. But seriously, I started getting headaches because of the cold air. Even when I tried to move it, it bounced off the window and still gave me. So I turned that off, and then within 5 minutes, you're like, "Oh, why is it so hot in here?"
Can you close individual vents?
Oh, probably, maybe. I don't know. They're kind of.
No.
It's an older truck.
Yeah, it's another pickup.
Or I'd also learned that most modern cars, the handle to shut the door, doesn't go all the way through. It's like a pocket, so you
Yeah.
can use it for stuff. Not his truck. I put my hot tamales in it, slid right out into my feet.
Oops.
And at first I was like, "Where's the cup holders?" There's wasn't any. Well, you have to grab the bottom part of the dash, and it has little arms that it pulls out.
Huh.
It's like, what? I don't understand.
They didn't care about cup holders as much back then.
Apparently
They
not.
weren't.
We're gonna put this complicated mechanical device that's gonna break.
Yeah. Oh well.
It was fun though. It was a good weekend.
Yeah, it was fun to go down and see everyone, and it's nice because we get to stay at my in-laws because my wife and I are from the same town.
That's weird.
So, well, we were high school sweethearts.
Yeah.
I had to find her early before my antisocialness
I was a high school
fully
sweetheart,
developed.
but not with my wife. I was just a sweetheart.
Those many girls. Yeah, my wife complains about how many friends I had that were of the female.
Just because you can only remember your friends from Texas that were girls?
Well, in high school, I
Oh.
didn't have any friends that were guys.
Weird.
So,
That runs in the family.
yeah.
Probably my middle son is constantly surrounded by girls at high school.
He's going to make a young lady very happy
I
one day.
think so.
He's a good kid. All right, let's go on to Technerdy. I was looking at news articles and found one about, there's all these different, every major company that does tech has their own assistant. So there's
Siri.
there's a Google one.
This is where people love us and listen over speakers.
There's Alexa for Amazon.
Alexa, purchase Jason Huff's book. Yes.
There's the Microsoft has one called Cortana that comes with Windows 10 that I never use. Well, actually, when I'm
It's right here.
opening an app, I just type it in that Cortana bar,
Also, you're texting her.
and it opens a list of things, and I can click it. I guess, but it's actually has more intelligence to it than that. But I'm not on my PC much. So, well, so they're all kind of competing, right?
Right.
Well, Microsoft and Amazon decided that's kind of silly. Why not get together? So Amazon
Let's get together.
and Alexa.
Yeah.
No, Amazon is Alexa.
Yes.
Amazon and Microsoft are making it so that you can talk to your Alexa and say, Alexa, open Cortana, and then you can do.
Ah! So I'm picturing Alexa now having a weapon of some kind.
Not a katana.
I thought Cortana was
No,
totally on
so
the outside.
things that Cortana does that your Echo can't do, you will be able to do now, starting, I think, when were they? Oh, they announced it today. It's supposed to come online soon, like in September.
Check your local listings.
Yeah. And also, when you're on your Windows 10 device, you can, in Cortana, tell it to open Alexa and do things, interact, like order things on Amazon through it and stuff like that.
That's a good idea.
So, I think it will probably boost both things and maybe bring them up above their competition, or it might spark other AI companies to join in or combine in a separate, maybe Siri and Google will combine or something like that.
Oh, that's what happened.
I don't know. Probably not. Siri will probably never join with anybody else, but
She's stuck up.
it's cool, and it's an easy way for these two kind of limited AIs to gain more usefulness, capability.
Power.
That's the exact word.
It's just like Power Rangers or Voltron.
Yeah. Individually, they're okay, but you put them together, they're friends.
Right.
So yeah.
It kind of remind me of a problem I have on my desktop right now. If I log into my login, it takes sometimes up to 45 minutes for the desktop to show up.
Really?
So it's like a black screen with the cursor. Well, I discovered that I can Control-Alt-Delete and get to the task manager, and from there you can actually run new tasks.
Oh.
So I've been doing that. So if I get on there, and it luckily keeps a history of ones you've found. So I've launched my Minecraft. I can launch Chrome.
I had to do that on here before to get one of our apps we record with to open. But yeah, it's funny. The cool thing about this with Alexa and Cortana is those are the two things that I have access to. I don't have Siri or Google whatever their thing is on there. I don't even know what it is.
Hello, Google.
Google Now or something.
Yeah.
Okay, Google.
It's called
I don't
Google now.
Anyways, so it'll be interesting. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
So,
I think they're coming a long way with those assistants. I like them.
Alexa, tell me a joke. That's for everybody who's listening to this out loud.
I thought mine was better.
Our Alexa did a joke too, because my son will do that occasionally, and he didn't get it, but it was just because he's not old enough. I'm trying to think what it was, but it was. I thought it was.
Why
kinda
don't French
funny.
people eat snails?
Oh, that was.
Oh, why do French people eat snails?
Because they don't like fast food. I almost had it until you said that.
I said it backwards. I said it
Yeah.
wrong.
Anyways, it was kind of like a generation gap.
I apologize to all our French fans. That was kind of Frenchist.
I don't.
I'm a big fan of your kissing. And your toast.
Did they really invent that?
No. They just did it enough to popularize it.
I think there was a time where if anything was different, they would just call it the French version.
Probably. That's how English works.
French fries. I don't know that that was actually invented in France, but it could have been. I know where
French bread.
tater tots were invented,
That's right.
our hometown, by our grandma's uncles.
Yes, correct.
So you can thank us for tater tots.
You're welcome.
And
Oh, now I want tater tots.
that's Technerdy.
Excellent. So there's some interesting news stories today. First one, some people were surprised with some gigantic pipes. Probably, I don't know, from the picture, it looked like maybe 6 to 8 foot diameter pipes washed up on the beach. They're about a quarter mile long.
Whoa.
Apparently they broke free from whatever boat was hauling them. The nice thing about pipes, you can just plug the ends, and
Yeah.
then it's basically
Oh, those are huge.
a tube.
Yeah.
So it's a quarter mile long tubes, or pipes, washed up on shore. They were being towed from Norway to Algeria. So
No,
careful
it's a
with the
long
video.
ways. Yeah, I just closed it because it was loading.
And then finally, we have a person arrested for doing the Macarena.
Oh, great. I've been waiting for this for years.
This took place in Saudi Arabia. The event happened a year ago, where a 14-year-old stopped traffic by, he had headphones on, and was dancing the Macarena in the crosswalk, stopping traffic.
Oh,
So he's probably charged with, was brought in for questioning after his video went viral. I think he was charged with disrupting traffic and indecent public display or something, because you can't dance in Saudi Arabia out in public.
oh, I think it's interesting.
But it's funny that he's doing the Macarena, and I'm glad. Maybe if we could move that to the States, that'd be
Yeah.
great. I threw some Macarena dancing happening at the wedding afterwards.
I know, it's because I claimed that I would only do the Macarena at what's your name? Master Zed's wedding. So then he played it at
To see if he
Mr.
could get
Pold's
you to do it.
wedding to see if I would do it, and I told them that I was actually lying when I said I would do it at a wedding.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it anywhere. Sam, I am.
Well, we're gonna force you to dance at our wedding.
I'll dance, but I
You can dance if
probably
you want
won't
to.
do the
You
Macarena.
can leave your friends behind.
I danced at Mr. Pold's wedding.
I didn't dance to the Macarena either, so it's okay.
Okay,
I was
you
inside at that
keep
point.
your man card. It's like your wife doing it though, or your fiance,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yeah.
Then for a final news story,
and Miss DVD's son.
it's a shout out to my lovely bride on her birthday. It's going to be the end of the world, according to some people. So late September, supposedly there's a planet called, how do you pronounce it?
Nibiru.
Nibiru is supposed to show up.
Oh, is it coming
And-
back?
And it's supposed to, yeah, it's been supposedly like 2003, 2012, 2013. There's several times it's been claimed it's going to show up and destroy the planet. But apparently now the pyramids and the Bible are claiming it's going to be the States somehow.
Oh, wow. Well,
So-
that's conclusive.
Right.
I can't wait till that happens.
So hopefully, we'll probably go out to dinner for T Viddy's birthday. Hopefully, it's not our last meal.
That's funny.
And NASA's come out multiple every time it's been claimed. They've come out and said there's no extra planets. That's
Right.
a hoax. There's no data to support that. If it was going to affect Earth, it'd be visible already. We'd know about it for the last decade.
Right.
Like, oh, but you do know about it for the last decade. You're just not telling us. You're building your secret underground elitist bunkers or spacecraft or water vessels or
Right.
like the 2012 movie.
2012. Come on. You don't say 1994 when you're talking about.
Can I watch that movie again if I change the cover so it says 2112?
No. If you do that, the disc won't play.
Oh, okay. And that's the news.
All right. If you want to support the show, make sure you tell a friend and maybe head on over to enginerdyshow.com. And up in the top right corner, you can get to Amazon to do your Amazon shopping. It's awesome.
Oh, not of the room?
Of the website.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
And if you want any of our drawings on a t-shirt, let me know. I'll put them up there. He's going back into iron mode.
I am Iron Man.
Well, good. I'll just put you in the rain and you'll rust really bad. Is that why his suit's mostly red?
My biggest enemy is iron. Magnets.
Magnet Man?
Magnet Man.
Magneto versus Iron Man.
Oh no!
All right, let's do some consumption.
How's that for consumption?
The only thing I got through this week was I watched the 4th season of Sherlock.
I've not finished that one, I don't think.
It's
Is that the last one's on there?
it's the most
The
recent
fourth
one on
series?
Netflix.
Okay, I haven't seen all of it.
It's really good. Parts of it you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But the last episode is awesome.
Oh, I'm not gonna watch it.
It's really good. So I highly recommend that series.
It's very good.
Yeah,
Even if
I think I watched
Benedict
the first
Cumberbatch
episode of season 4.
has a really weird name.
I like it, and I'll talk more about him later.
Okay. So, before our trip down to the wedding, I wasn't sure how long I was going to be in the airport or on the airplane or waiting other places, so I rented a Amazon movie. So you just rent it and pay your $4 or whatever, and then you have like 30 days to start watching it. Once you start watching it, you have 48 hours to watch it as many times as you want.
Oh.
So I rented King Arthur, Sword of Legend,
Oh.
or I think that's what it's called. That's one that has the guy from what's that motorcycle game?
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. There you go. And it also has some other famous people in it. Which Jude Law was in it,
Oh?
and the other guy in that one thing.
Mahershala
Christian
Ali.
Bale.
Is he in it?
Had Christian Bale in it.
Christian Bale was in it. No, he wasn't.
Wasn't that Christian Bale at the beginning?
No, it was the guy that played the Hulk, I think, before.
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
It was good. I really liked it. It was an interesting take on the King Arthur legend.
Charlie Human.
Yep, Charlie Hunnam was in it. He's the guy from that one movie. And the other thing. At that one time.
Oh, he's the guy from Pacific Rim.
Right.
And Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, he's from Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Good placement. Eric Bana, there you go. And Jimon Hounsou. That guy.
Oh, yeah. He's
really good. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah.
Anyway, so that's good. Go watch it. It's
Cool.
worth it. Worth it. Totally worth it. And then I watched. I started a animated TV show called Archer. It's about a spy. And
Pretty funny.
It's funny because the spy organization is called ISIS. But
Okay.
it's from before
Right.
the current ISIS.
Nice.
which it makes me laugh every time I hear it. It's just, name your terrorist organization or something. Don't name it after a fictitious spy
Cartoon.
agency from a cartoon. It's pretty funny. It's like definitely adult humor for like 007 type stuff. Like his mom is the director of the spy agency, the main spy. It's pretty funny. I'm through first half of the first season.
Okay.
And it seems like I haven't had much time to do much consuming.
Yeah, we've been busy.
And football practice and whatnot.
Yeah. I'm surprised you watch anything at all.
It's hard. I actually have watched some YouTube videos and stuff when I talk about those.
I've been playing. The reason I haven't been watching much is because Mrs. Jimmy and I have been playing Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle cooperative card game almost every
What
day.
is that? Oh, that game. That
That's
is
the
a
one
fun
we
game.
played.
Yeah.
I got it from Mom for my birthday,
Go and
and
play it sometime.
I have played it so many times. I love it. It's so fun.
We should do
We
a
should
double
have
date night.
you guys come over and play with us some evening.
Okay. I need to get
Probably not this
T-Viddy.
weekend because my
Right.
relatives are coming, but definitely once school starts, my life is going to be so much more stable because this summer has been crazy.
Well, yeah. Football goes through November, so
Yeah, you're going to be. But we should do it on a
we should.
Friday or Saturday night.
Agreed.
I can put my kids to bed and we can fight Voldemort. I mean,
Yeah, or we can even do it
he who
other
must not be
times too. We
named.
can send middle son over to your house, and
We could come here.
yeah. And,
It's a date.
all right.
Master Zed, do you have any consumption?
Yeah, I watched. Well, the last couple of days I've watched a bunch of YouTube clips, getting ready for my top 5 list that I did with the Brew and View podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So check those guys out on thesaucelounge.com.
That's one of my top five shows. Probably didn't
But
make
a
any
movie I
sense.
watched recently was called The Founder.
Is that
It's
about
kind
McDonald's?
Oh, TV
Yeah,
saw that.
so it's a
Okay.
biopic. It's not like a documentary. It's just biographical drama.
Oh.
About how McDonald's got started. It
Cool.
was pretty good. It was you are kind of rooting for the main guy. What's his name? Like Jay Kroc or something. You're kind of rooting for him at the beginning because he is set up as the protagonist and he's down on his luck and you want him to succeed, and then by the end you're like, man, this guy's a schmuck. But he just kind of screws over everyone in his way. But
Nice.
it was pretty good.
It's kind of how I live my life.
1/4 mile at a time.
1/4 pounder at a time.
I also watched the King Arthur Sword of Legend movie.
Oh, nice.
What did you think of it?
I liked it. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that's about where I put it.
It was pretty good. I like the main actor, Charlie Hunnam.
Yep.
Yeah, my wife likes
I
it.
thought
bet
Jude Law
she'd
did a
like
good
that
job
movie.
as a bad guy.
Yeah, I like Jude Law. He's always good. I like to see some of the younger actors get in there and actually put on a good performance, since it seems like a lot of shows, especially like the TV shows, they kind of can get away with not great acting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to see someone that's a very physical character also be able to act and put some emotion into it.
Yeah, just like our show.
I am not the robot.
I'm just pretending to be this outgoing.
I told people that I do a really good human impression. They said, not really.
Think that, but we can tell. You are a robot.
I am a robot.
So we played the Harry Potter game with you
Yeah,
while
that
we
was
were
fun.
waiting around at Mr. Pold's wedding site. Between setting stuff up, we
Yeah.
had snuck in a few rounds. Year 4 was tough.
Yeah,
That's
so
a tough one.
it has 7 games in it, and each game you add more villains and cards and stuff to the deck.
So year 4 is when you get hard villains, but you haven't added enough to your character's abilities yet, right? Make it
Kind
easier.
of. But we played. We haven't even played the final year yet. We've gone 1 through 6. We just played 6 for the first time 2 nights ago, or last night. 2 nights ago. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. But it's hard, and I think it took us. Yeah, we played it twice because we lost the first time. So it's definitely not guaranteed that you're going to win. But sometimes you can tell you're going to do well pretty early on based on what cards are available to acquire.
Right.
Like, okay, we've got these 2 out there to get. I think we're going to be okay, because, yeah, it's fun. Basically, you play as one of the 4 main characters in the Harry Potter world: Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville. And you have spells,
Card building game.
items, and allies in your deck that you're building. And by playing cards on your turn, you can attack the villains, and the villains have abilities that they do and to damage you, and then there's dark arts events that happen each turn that damage you, and then you buy additional cards with tokens that you get by playing cards, so it's pretty fun. And every time you play it, it's different because you have different cards to buy, and you get the villains in different combinations, so it's really replayable a lot, so it's really fun.
Yeah, so I played another cooperative game this weekend after I left.
Yeah?
Called Legendary,
Okay.
and it's a Marvel superhero card building game.
Oh.
So it's kind of similar. You start with different hero. You have different heroes, I guess. Different like series of heroes that have a varying levels of ability, and you.
Who's your favorite hero?
I don't know.
He's wearing the Iron Man mask.
Wow.
He was hoping you'd say Iron Man.
Black Widow.
Yeah. He's going to dress as Black Widow next week. So watch the YouTube.
Definitely.
But you pick like a mastermind villain, and then there's, depending on how many people are playing, you pick a certain number of villain decks that go into the villain pile, and
Weird.
then you have,
The
based on
villains
the number
are
of people,
dead.
the number of superhero piles that you add in, and then it's. I think I determined I liked it less than the Hogwarts Battle
Yes,
game.
I win.
Hogwarts Battle's pretty good, though.
Because Hogwarts Battle game, when you're fighting a bad guy, it's actually cooperative because you can put damage on that villain on your turn incrementally. In the legendary game, to battle a bad guy, you have to. Well, it's less risk, I guess, with the bad guys because you draw a villain each time, and it adds to a queue that pushes along, and then once they get to the end, there's a reaction that happens based on if they escape. So it's not as big of a deal if you don't kill them, but you have to have all of the attack points for one person to be able to take them out.
Oh, weird.
But it's pretty fun. We played, I think, like 3 rounds Sunday night and Monday during the day, and we won all of them. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Cool. All right, our next segment is Nerd Cred, where we talk about some nerdy things we've done since our last recording. So at the end of Mr. Pold's reception, they handed out sparklers, and we made a kind of a tunnel type. You know, we lined up in 2 rows, and they went out between us.
I thought it was a gauntlet. I was trying to light them on fire.
Anyways, Zoc, DVD's oldest son, was next to me, and just as they were coming out, it hit me. Let's do the Star Wars Imperial March.
Yes.
So I was like, Zoc, Imperial Death March, or whatever, you know. And he's like, got it. And so we started doing it. And Mr. Pold's wife looks right at us as she goes by. So hopefully she thought it was funny.
Hopefully.
Afterwards, one of her relatives, I think, kind of made a disapproving comment to us.
Oh.
Because I think either Zoc or I were like, oh, I think she heard us. And the relative's like, well, I heard you. Like, I was like, get over it. Knowing her, she thought it was hilarious.
I don't know. That could have been a joking comment, too.
It could have been. I don't know, because I don't know them.
Right.
So her brother... Okay, so Mr. Pold's wife... We went to church with her family when we were kids. I guess Mr. Pold was a teenager.
So was I.
I was a preteen. And so they knew each other from back then. And her little brother is my age. Well, I don't remember anybody from back then because we moved away right around my 12th birthday. And
Yeah.
I lived multiple places after that and had to learn all new people, and then moved away from those and forgot all those people. And he was acting like I should remember him because he remembered me. I'm like, so it was funny because I was like, well, here's the only people I remember. And I start naming people, and my wife's like, you only remember the girls? I was like, oh, yeah, I guess so. So, but it was funny. I think he was kind of just
Joking around.
joking. It was mostly just joking.
It was human interaction joking, so I
Yeah.
understand why you're having a hard time.
Well, I'm just uncomfortable around other guys. More comfortable around females.
It was like a lion, right? The male lions are more comfortable around females.
I am a Leo on the zodiac.
So. My sign also likes to be surrounded by females. Taurus,
Oh yeah,
the bull.
that's right. So I had a dream the other night. This was actually while we were down there for the wedding. In my dream, I was hanging out with the Batch, Benedict Cumberbatch,
Okay.
and
You call him Benny?
I don't remember what I was calling him, but in my dream, he was playing the Doctor from Doctor Who.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
Not while we were hanging out,
I was
but
thinking Spies Like Us.
in my dream, I knew that he was playing the Doctor.
Oh.
Currently,
So is the actor or?
I was hanging out with Benedict Cumberbatch, but I knew that he was the Doctor. But we were playing with these, like, they were metal, but they were like refrigerator-sized boxes. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That's like a TARDIS. And I was going to take a picture of him with it. But then his mom was around, and he felt embarrassed, so he didn't want me to take his picture. And I was really disappointed. I don't know. I have weird dreams.
Yeah, very weird dreams.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I like having weird dreams. If you want to have weird dreams, sleep with the light on.
Okay.
I found that I have weirder dreams. Or at least I remember them better when the light's on.
Sleep with your head downhill. That'll do it too.
Oh.
Master Zed, what do you got?
my nerd credit I can claim is Charlie and I provided the overhead lighting for Mr. Polt's wedding, which was like the antique Edison style bulb string lights that
Yeah.
we strung over mom and dad's backyard. So when we were originally planning it all out, mom had come up and was visiting, and we were just kind of throwing ideas out for how to provide lighting because they got married at sunset, so the reception was going to be in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to have lighting for it, and
We could have a rave.
So we're like-
we could have had
Just handed out
glow sticks and
and stuff.
so we're like, well, we came up with the idea to do the string the string lights over the top of
Mhm.
the space, and Charlie and mom were going back and forth about whether that would be a good idea or not, and because you don't want them to look too saggy, and how high do you have to have them, and if they've got sag in them, so that they're not like running into people's heads. And so we basically concluded we wanted them to be topped, and they were like, well, we want them to just be no sag, straight. And I was like, well, the equation for the catenary equation, the tension in the line goes to infinity if you have zero sag.
Right.
So you can't have zero sag.
So we
So
got
then they're
some
like,
carbon
well, I don't
fiber.
unless you have Bob
So it's
Saget holding one end.
I was like, okay, so what if we had like half an inch of sag? And they were like, oh, that sounds good. So I calculated.
Yeah, over how far was that? Like
It was
50
50 feet.
on average. So I calculated what that was, the tension in the line, and basically I was trying to figure out what the reaction would be for the connections at the ends. And then I sized because the fence is only 6 feet tall, but we knew we needed to take a piece of board and run it up along a post
right.
above that, so that we could have the lights up at like 8 feet at least. So I sized the lumber, and I was like, hey, we need 2x6s minimum. And they were like, whoa, that seems huge. I was like, well, you said you wanted ½ inch of sag.
Well, plus you're using the 2x6s in their weak side, right?
Right, exactly. It was, weak axis bending. So they're like, hey, what can we get with the 2x4? So like, okay, well, for like an inch and a quarter or something,
That's
that'll
still
work.
pretty good. You probably can't notice that.
Yeah, they're like, well, 50 feet, like an inch and a quarter is not very much.
Right.
So, so I did a bunch of. I'm working on designing a cable stayed bridge at work.
So if you get them close enough, that's weird. It actually flows.
What was that?
Negative tension, so it's just. So if you get it's close enough.
Yes. But I
Negative
made
sag.
a shopping
Right.
list for mom for all the hardware that I wanted to be able to put this stuff up and make it so we could tension all of the lines and whatnot, and it all worked perfectly.
Nice. Cool.
So at
Andy,
work,
what do you got?
somebody was showing me some calcs, and I said, you have my blessing on the calcs. So I thought, well, the Catholics have their blessing hand signal, so what would the engineering blessing hand signal be? So I thought it would be very similar. It would be like this, and like this. You're setting your axis, then you do a sine wave.
Yeah.
So
Or
I
you could
thought
just
about
do a
ways-
sine wave.
I thought about ways to,
Simplify it.
I guess. It's not as close to the other one, though. It's just harder to tell what you're doing.
You could do like a square root symbol. Sorry,
You,
we keep
get outta
bumping
here.
our microphones because we're doing hand signals.
Yeah.
And you're also making a bunch of hand signals on an audio.
Well, there is
Yeah.
I thought that'd be funny to put on a T-shirt, the hand signal with like arrows showing you which way to go. Anyway, and then I got to a satisfactory point of my Enter Falcon or Millennia Enterprise. Millennia Prize. Basically, I took the Millennium Falcon and replaced the saucer section of the Enterprise with it.
So how
3D
was
model.
the scale? Because it seems
They're
like the
not.
saucer section of the Enterprise is way bigger
It
than the
is.
Falcon. Okay, so you just scaled the Falcon up.
I actually scaled it based on the radius of the circles involved, but that was too big, so I scaled the Falcon down a little bit from that.
Okay, it looks good scale wise.
Yeah, I thought it turned out well. So I have a 3D model of it, which
Okay.
was fun. I did that over my lunches for the last 2 weeks.
Well, I was going to use a wedding picture for this week's art, but maybe next week's episode I'll put a.
And if you
ISO
want
of
to just
that or
do,
something.
we could. I don't know if we just want to do the isometric of it. 'Cause I
Yeah,
have,
or
like, all
maybe
3 views.
maybe the ISO and the detail view
Okay,
or the plan view.
Post a 3D PDF of it.
I can do that. That'd be cool. I can make one of those. I'm not sure how that would work for show art, but
I don't know.
we could post it somewhere.
I think maybe an ISO would probably be sufficient for the
Probably,
website.
I guess. And then, I had one more. So we were talking about statistics and how misleading graphs can be.
Yeah.
My friend said something about the average of only 3. I think it's how many people got killed or something. It was like, well, O.J. Simpson's average was 2. And I thought, what if you did like an exponential graph of O.J. Simpson killing people? Like, let's say you just started with 2, and the next day you did 4, and the next day 16, and then 256. He'd kill everyone on the planet within a week.
Whoa, that's a lot of blood.
Because once you get to past 256 and square that,
Yeah.
you get like 65,000 something, and after that you get to 4 billion.
Well, it's like the rice problem, right?
Right, or the vampire problem.
Yeah.
The vampire bites somebody every night. Turns
Right.
into a vampire.
And then each of those have to bite someone each night.
Yeah, how fast would the world get consumed? It's within a week.
Yeah. The
So
power of
it's kind of weird. Yeah.
exponential growth.
So there's certain things that people like to quote as far as science that have curves and graphs. And like, you can make graphs and curves look however you want.
Yeah. So what we want you to do, listener, is every week tell 2 people about the show and make sure that they tell 2 people.
Yes.
And within a month or 2, everyone on the earth will be
Listen to our show.
listening to our show.
Then we'll get all kinds of Amazon money.
Yeah. If you want to contact us, send an email to enginerdyshow@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. We're at Enginerdy Show there. Check out our website. It's theenginerdyshow.com, or you can just go to enginerdyshow.com. It takes you there also, where you can find our Amazon link. It's up in the top right with our menu of the website. Yvitti's looking at the ceiling again.
Is it working? Because I think last time I went, the link was dead.
Really?
Oh, and if you want to sponsor our show by having us do a live read commercial for you, contact St. Jimmy, and we will arrange a fee structure.
Sure. Alright, I'm clicking through right now.
On the air, live.
It did not work.
Oh no.
Okay, I will fix that.
Okay.
Crud. Alright, thank you for listening this week. Stay nerdy.
Oh, is it my turn? I thought it always went last.
Oh,
Bye.
We have been and always shall be my friends.
alright.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.